Hello everyone, welcome back to LM Simulation here on YouTube. Feels like it's been a long time since I've done a video, to be honest. I'm working on the current sort of projects with sort of scheduling videos, getting them uploaded, and then focusing on sort of my current life outside of the world of YouTube. As everyone knows, this is just a hobby for me, so I do hope you do enjoy the videos that I'm putting out at the moment to the fullest extent. So today we're having a look at something that was released a long time ago. So it's been quite a while, but I do want to get an update video out for it, and this will be it. So welcome back to the fantastic Isle of Wight, which we're going to be exploring today. The updated version that was released 2022 version. So this is what basically they've been working on to get it bang up to date and in line with the current changes that have happened on the island line, because the original island line was based around the previous 1938 stock, was it, that was operating on the Isle of Wight, and now that's been withdrawn. We've now got more up-to-date Viva Rail stock, even though Viva Rail have gone bust, because the maintenance contract is with South Western Railway, and all the education was passed on. They have no need to withdraw the services, unlike London North Western Railway, who unfortunately have had to withdraw their 230s that they've been operating, and that is due to the fact that the maintenance contract was going to be provided by Viva Rail themselves, and Viva Rail are no more. So with that in mind, we're going to one of the only places now where you can actually get a D-stock train, because in my area, Transport for Wales is my sort of thing. You have got D-stock trains, but they don't work, and when you go out to get on one, they're always replaced by 150s, so it's not very reliable. But this time, we're guaranteed a D-stock train, so let's jump in without further ado. We're going to go back into the routes, so the Isle of Wight 2022. Now, the issue with licensing is still apparent. As a result, the South Western Railway licensing was not granted to the developer when they were developing this rendition of the Isle of Wight. So as a result of that, it was default branding. That being said, the fantastic people on the on the online sharing hub that we've got available, Creators Club, have made a realistic style livery for it. So basically, unofficially, you can get it in the real livery, and that's what we're going to do today. So we'll jump into a timetable with the Class 484. That's the default livery. We're not going to have a look at that today. We're going to have a look at the real livery. The default livery, as you can see, just has the word Island Line on it. There's no South Western Railway logo. There's nothing of any mention of South Western Railway on there. And because Island Line is not a registered trademark, because it's not registered or it's not a trademark and it's not copyright, they can use the phrase Island Line, but they cannot put any South Western Railway branding on it whatsoever. There's nothing to do with South Western on there at all. Whereas the real version, which is the ones that we got over here, I'm going to go for this one today, that's got real South Western Railway, first group, all of that jazz branding on it. So anyway, let's have a look. I'm filming this in June, just so that you know, so I'm scheduling videos then getting them out, It's much easier for me to do that than to focus on the other things. So at the moment, the current air temperature outside, because we've got a bit of a heat wave at the moment, so according to my weather app at the moment, it's saying that the current temperature in my area is 26 degrees, but it will be getting to about 30 probably as the day goes on. It's stiflingly hot, really, really hot, and the the pollen count is through the roof at the moment, so it's probably the worst time of year for me, to be honest. I prefer winter. I really do. I used to prefer summer, but now it's just... In winter, it's so much easier to get warm. In summer, it's not as easy to get cool. We don't have air conditioning in the UK, not as standard, so it's very, very difficult to get cool in the summer. You have to sort of pop to the shops, because they're the only places that have got air conditioning. So I've probably spent a lot of money in my local co-op for almost no reason recently, just to be able to get some air conditioning. Anyway, so let's jump in. We're going to go for an early morning service out of Shanklin, probably around the 6:48, just to get the things up and running. It's a 22-minute service, all the way up to... Well, we want to go to Rye Pier Head actually, so we'll do the 7. Yeah, I think that's right. The 7:15. And that will go all the way to Rye Pier Head. That's a 25-minute service. That should do us. So we're going to have dynamic weather on because that's what you can do. 29.8 degrees seems about right for for right now. That is pretty much what it's like outside in clear. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like outside as well. So we'll go for pretty much the current weather as it is at the moment. Should be nice and sunny, and I'll give you a tour of the Class 484 and everything that has now changed and all the updates that are now available in the Isle of Wight 2022 here for Trains IRL 3. So I'll see you in the simulation. See you in a sec. Hello everyone, welcome back. So here we are, we're now in the simulation. It only takes a couple of seconds to load, which is very handy. So it does say that we're going to be operating a passenger service from Shanklin all the way up to Rye Pier Head. So that's the island line for you. It stretches between Shanklin and Rye Pier Head. I will put a link in the description below if you want to just have a quick look at the original island line video. That'll tell you a lot more about the actual line and the history about it and all of that jazz. That's a review video I did quite a while back when it was Trains IRL 2, I believe. So now we're in Trains IRL 3. A lot's sort of been updated and changed and stuff like that. So this is going to be focusing mainly on the update and what's changed in the island line and not the history of the island line and all of that. So if you want that, have a look in the original video. I will link it in the description below. But for now, let's jump in. We're working Shanklin to Rye Pier Head to Uniform 10. Right, so we're going to be late on this train. There's absolutely no way we're going to keep to the current timetable. But I want to basically treat you and let you have a look at the Class 484. So we'll have a look at the inside in a sec. First thing of all, we've got new destination displays, stuff like that. PIS screens that are working into the game. I can't remember if these were in Trains IRL 2 in the previous iteration, but I think this has been all new and implemented. So we've got these new lovely sort of PIS screens. This is probably one of the best thing in the game. It's just so realistic. I love it, absolutely love it. You've got your little touch screen for your smart cards and stuff like that, so that's been updated and implemented. A lot of the routes stayed the same, but one of the main things you can tell has changed is the platforms. So if I take a quick look and we go to the end of the platform here at well, this is Shanklin. If I just have a look here, you can see that the platform has been slightly raised there, just to allow for the Class 484 multiple unit to fit in. And then, obviously, you've got some anti-trespassing mats and stuff like that have been put down. That's very nice to see. You've got your third rail there, just like before. And you've got your gorgeous Class 484 electric multiple unit here at Shanklin, here at Shanklin. So I'll get a nice little screenshot there. That might be the thumbnail. We'll wait and see. But here you've got your first group and MTR company branding, as well as the official Island Line logo as it is in real life. So this is a third-party reskin, so I think this is done very, very well indeed. You've got your wheelchair access there as well. In fact, you've got two lots of wheelchair access, so it's very much up to current standards with disability access regulations, stuff like that. Headlights are on at the rear, so I'm going to get that all changed up, and you've also got new posters and stuff like that you can put down. Welcome to the Isle of Wight. There's the Needles, very, very famous in the Isle of Wight. You've also got areas where you can put your own posters up and stuff like that as well. I think I've done a lot of the tasks that are required in this route, but it is looking much more realistic now, and I do love that. So first things first, I'm going to open up this cab here, if I can find a way. Yep, there you go, using your master key. I'm going to turn the lights off, because I don't know why it does this, I really don't. It should just make sure the lights are as exactly how they should be. And double check, yep, we're on red for tail lights. So let's have a look at the train now. Obviously, you've got your route map there, which hasn't changed at all. You've got between Shanklin and Rye Pier Head. We're going to go the whole way today, all the way up. It's calling it Lake, Sandown, Brading, Smallbrook Junction. Depends on whether that's in service. I don't know if we'll be calling there today, probably not, because that's for the Isle of Wight Steam Railway. And then onwards to Right St John's Road, Ryde Esplanade and Rye Pier Head. Now Brading's had a bit upgrade because originally it was just a through platform, and that meant that you could only operate X amount of trains per service per day. They have actually included, there's a second platform at Brading that always was there, but it wasn't actually in service. That's now been reinstated, which means that at the same time a train departs Shanklin, a train can depart Rye Pier Head or Ryde Esplanade, and they can meet in the middle. and then you can go forward up to Rye Head, you can go down to Brading. That essentially doubles the service pattern, which is really, really good to see. So there's been a lot of nice changes that have been done. Got a nice little car park out here with that silver car, looks very much like mine. But there you go. So it's, yeah, we're working 484003, looking rather splendid here on the Island Line, most for sure. Right, so let's jump in and have a look at the cab. So you've got your second man seat here. You can sit in it if you want, move it up and down. These are all of your sort of buttons for your isolation switches and stuff like that. A lot of them, I think most of these don't really work because you've got the option to isolate stuff here. So we're going to unisolate a lot of things, so you'll hear a lot of different noises in a sec. So here we go. So that was, I think, the noise of the GSMR or something getting set up there. You've got your DSD isolation, that's in, DRA isolation, TPF isolation, TPWS needs to be normal, and I think we're all set up there, to be honest, so that's good. Yeah, you've got your door, which goes into the main cabin here, so you've got your windows there. You can actually open the windows and close them. I don't think these have got aircon, last time I checked. I think that's not something that South Western Railway specifies, so they have got windows here that you can open if it does get hot. And it is 29 degrees today, so I'm going to do the courteous thing and open the windows for the passengers, because obviously they're going to want to get some cool air into this train this morning. It's probably not 29 degrees just yet. I mean, if it was 29 degrees at 7 AM in the morning, I'd be a bit worried. But you can walk through the train, you can open the windows here, stuff like that. Very, very nice indeed. You've got your disability seats here where you can push the button, you've got charging points, you've got push for assistance. It is absolutely fantastic in terms of authenticity. It looks so much like the real thing. I've not been on the real thing, but I've seen pictures, and this is, yeah, it's about as close as you can get. You've got the opportunity to sit in some of the passenger seats, which is quite nice here, so you can sit in the passenger seats here. Please note that this is incredible, that nearly every passenger seat has got a USB charging point. Now that is really, really good. So they've gone above and beyond in getting these old D-stock trains up to standard. You've got your little isolated passenger seat here, which is probably one of my favourite. You can just sit here nice and cosy. And then you've got your forward and rearward facing seats, which are always a thing as well. And they've got, you know, you can charge your phone there and stuff like that. That looks like that's covered up to me, but in the real thing you should be able to charge your phone there anyway. But yeah, so the interior is looking very nice indeed. And you've got interior lights and everything that can make them work. Something else I'll mention, you've also got a guard panel, which you can open using a guard panel key. If I can find where the guard panel key is. There we go. And you can pretend to be a guard on this train. That is very, very nice indeed. I've not found a way to make it work perfectly. Sometimes the AI likes to take over. But if anyone's got any advice on that, do let me know, because I'd love to do a guard-only service on this. And something I wanted to mention with that is that if you want to be a guard, it's been widely recognised by the Dovetail Games community that people want to do more than just drive trains. So there's an imminent release that's coming out very, very shortly. By the time this video's come out, it will have been out, and that's the Glossop line from Manchester down to Glossop, using the Class 323 EMU, the very similar one that was from the Birmingham Cross City route that we've already had a look at. And now that has a guard mode. You can actually be a guard on that service. You can just forget driving the train, you can actually be the guard, release the doors when it gets in, close the doors, do the buzzer, check tickets. You can even check tickets. I mean, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. So this concept, basically Dovetail Games have ran with it, and it's fantastic. So there you go. We're not going to be doing anything to do with the guard thing today. We're going to be DOO, as far as I'm aware, even though the real trains are not DOO. They're actually operated by the guard. So you've got these guard panels here. Now, one thing you'll notice when you have a look in the cab, you've not actually got any passenger door open buttons. Absolutely nowhere are there any passenger door open buttons. And that is because, specified by the union, all these trains are operated with a guard. They have to be operated with a guard. That is, there's no workaround for that. So, because Trains IRL doesn't really, it's more catered for DOO, you have to kind of manually open the doors and close the doors using the control and tab keys. So that's basically how to get that set up. Anyway, so now we're running pretty much nearly 10 minutes late. Let's get jumped in and set everything up. So we'll set the master key, get the AWS reset. We'll turn our instrument lights on to bright because it is a bit bright today, and we will turn our headlights on today. Get the blind put down a little bit because it is a bit bright today. We'll be on a green signal, so we don't need to worry about the DRA. We'll open the doors, which we have to do with control tab. Now if you have a look outside, that will open the doors. Now you do have the choice, and you can manually close each door if you wanted to, but you can do it more easily using just the control and tab keys. You've also got the choice to put your instrument lights on these panels as well, which looks quite nice as well. And you've got a blind over here too. I don't know if... no, control tab only works when you're sat down, so we'll close the cab door for now. I'll get sat in, put that blind up a little bit just so that we can look where we're going. Lock the doors and we'll get on our way. We'll have a look at each station once we get there. Next stop will be, is it Lake? I think it's Lake, isn't it? Yeah, it is Lake. Lovely. So let's have a look on what just apart from the outsides. And if you want to hear what the horn sounds like, here you go. You've got a horn and you've also got a whistle there. It's not the best horn in the world, but it does the job. So we're on a 0.5 gradient, leaving Shanklin there, heading towards Sandown. So our next station is in 5,000 feet, so not too long at all. It's not a long distance. Probably one of the longest distances is between Sandown and Brading, or between Brading and Ryde. Technically not calling at Smallbrook Junction, because this train shouldn't call there this time in the morning. Here we go. Instrument lights and stuff like that are all managed via here, but the interior lights, they're managed via somewhere else completely. I'm not entirely sure if there is a interior light function somewhere. I'll have to have a look, because it's been a while since I've driven this train. You sort of learn how to do it, and then you unlearn how to do it when you learn how to do other trains. So there's a cab light switch there. You can have your cab light on. You've got a spotlight as well, which can manage it. You've got cab heater there, you can have it on cool. The doors don't actually have windows in them, for the looks of it, so it's all aircon in here, but I'm not too sure if it's aircon for the passenger as well. Fairly sure there should be a light. Oh dear, no, we're going to overrun at this rate, sorry. Probably think about slowing down, we're not too far away. keep thinking about the next thing and the next thing, and you just completely forget you're driving a train at the same time. By the way, kids, and if you're watching, never get up when you're driving a train. The DSD will go off and then you'll come to a grinding halt, basically. And there we go. So I've learned how to drive this train. You've kind of got to learn how how it works. It's still, yeah, it's not perfect, but it's you kind of learn how to do it. So there we go. We'll unlock right. While we're doing that, we'll have a quick look and see if we can find these interior lights. Unless they're already on, which they're not. Interesting. Saloon lighting on. There you go. I knew it was a simple button. There you go. We've got lights now. Lovely. Let's put this here. Lovely. We've got a route map put in. That's super. And there we go. This is us at Lake. And let's get back in the cab so that we can close the doors. Even though the guard would be doing this in real life, we are the ones doing it in this simulation. Oh, we're stuck by a bus stop. This will be a nice little departure video. Lovely. And jump back into the cab. We're now accelerating up. We have got a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit just before the platform at Sandown while we head into there. We are going to be very late, but that is just because for the purpose of this, we are making a YouTube video, and you're never going to be on time with that sort of thing. So your low tone is obviously the whistle, and your high tone is the horn. So a bit different to your normal train. You've got these new ILS signals, integrated lightweight signal, I think they are, designed by Unipart Rail, I believe. I think Unipart Rail have a facility up in Crewe, so they might actually be built down in Crewe. Not too sure on that, but yeah, we have got a 15 speed limit coming up very shortly, so I'm going to start slowing down for that. Just by this signal. You can never quite get down for it because you're on a descending gradient, you see, so. And this here is Sandown. So this is another looping platform, another place where you can get looped. Just between here and Brading, I think it's a 2-track railway, and then it heads back to 1 track after Brading. Now you'll be able to see something here that is quite interesting, and I'll show you it whilst we've stopped and letting the passengers board. Bit of a bigger station, this Sandown, for the big town at Sandown. Right, so if we open the cab door, I said open the cab door. No, open the cab door. Oh God. See, it's got a bit of issues. You might be able to see, you never do this in real life, you've got a very powerful third rail there. But this is the height that the original platform was at. And look at that, look at how low that is. So those little class 483 electric multiple units, 1938 stock, that was how tall they were. They were absolutely tiny compared to these D-stock trains, and they've had to actually elevate the platform up to this length using this sort of technology here. You can kind of see it's a platform built on a platform, so that's how they've kind of done it. And they've even got mould here and stuff like that, which looks quite good actually. You've got these ILS signals as well, very nice indeed. You're going to let me climb up, or you're just going to... Nope. Oh gosh, Train Sim World being Train Sim World, unfortunately. What can you do? There you go. So here we go, let's get the closed doors button pressed. See, this is the problem, when you've got that seat there, it doesn't register you pressing other commands. I don't know if there's a keyboard command for that, you see, so... Ah, there's another one coming in. And that one is in the default livery. There you go, so that's the default livery if you want to see it. No branding at all. It's actually in the wrong colour scheme as well. It's in far too light a blue. The blue actually in real life is a lot darker than that. And there it goes, comes to a halt. And we'll depart just behind it. There you go, and that's the real life livery there. You can kind of tell the difference, it does look quite different. So maybe there was a distinction or something like that that was mentioned. Normally we would pass that train at Brading, by the way, rather than here at Sandown. No, it's a single railway at Sandown, so yeah. But normally we'd pass that train at Brading. I think we'd get clearance to leave here, and then we'd pass it at Brading instead. But because obviously we're running late, we've had to pass it at Sandown instead. So it's just a single track railway the majority of the way. I don't think it's double track for nearly any of it. It's majorly single track in most places, to be honest. So our next stop's up at Brading. It's not far, as you can see. It doesn't bother to do it in miles because it's not a long enough railway to register anything in miles, really. Everything's just a matter of feet away. You can see the real beauty of how well they've constructed this this model as we make our way through the beautiful Isle of Wight countryside. And we're speeding. Of course we are. This thing is too fast. It is far too fast for this line. Especially when the line speed's 45. I mean, you could easily do 60 down here. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Doing 60 in the next London Underground train. Wow. I don't know whether the real life D-stock trains, when, you know, the not the 484s per se, but obviously the Transport for Wales ones. So I don't know whether they can do 60 on diesel. I'll interject the joke there and say they struggle to do anything above 5 miles an hour in real life, to be honest. Whether it be door issues, this, that and another, they're just constantly having issues. And we've got Great Western Railway now, who have acquired the assets that Viva Rail had left over, and they're going to develop, I think they're going to sort of launch in-house, sort of a development team who are going to work on the Viva Rail project as a continuation of the existing Viva Rail project. So, yeah. They want to operate their battery-operated Viva Rail trains, which is quite an interesting concept. So I think the idea is for them to be diesel-operated and then run on batteries, or on battery power all the time, and then charge them at either end. So they're going to be technically electric trains that are battery-operated, which is a very interesting concept. So that's going to be set like that on the line that goes up to Greenford, I think it is, out of London Paddington. I mean, originally they were going to have a huge plethora of new trains. Great Western Railway were meant to be having 769s, tri-mode ones that were designed for the railway. However, that project has now officially fallen through. They've actually completely shelved the whole 769 project, which is very sad to see. I don't think it was a success story. I think modifying existing 319s was not really a great success. I don't know how Viva Rail have gone bust. They managed to secure a hell of a lot of funding for this project initially. They designed the trains, and then it's not like the appeal isn't out there. I mean, you've got Transport for Wales that have got them, you've got South Western Railway, you've got London North Western, you've got Great Western Railway. So it's not like the appeal wasn't there. They've had a lot of custom. Maybe it just wasn't enough to stop the company from falling under. So as you can see there, I was looking on the left to see if there was an open door button, and there isn't. These trains in real life, as you probably know, are operated DOO. Well, they're not DOO. Actually, they're the complete opposite. Don't know why I said that. I'm so used to DOO trains up here. You just very rarely get guards up here. Although that being said, you get quite a few guard-operated trains. Just not in the numbers I was thinking. I don't know what constitutes as a guard. Is it just opening and closing the doors? Is it checking the tickets? Does that make them a ticket examiner if they check the tickets, or is it a proper guard? I mean, you've got a lot of guard-operated trains, but a lot of the northern trains don't have guards at all, especially the ones out of Crewe. Going up to Manchester Airport, they're definitely... Well, no, they're not DOO actually. They've got a ticket examiner on board. I have no idea. Absolutely have no idea. I've lost count. I've been this far out of the railway for this long. It's just completely messed with my head. I used to have a weekly subscription to a railway magazine, and that used to keep me bang up to date with all the news and what's going on, this, that, and another, and just basically keeping an eye on things. But that just all fell through. It just became too much money when all the your electricity prices went up and all of that jazz. The first thing I had to do was just get rid of all unnecessary extra payments, and railway magazines were just one of them. You know, draining £30 out of my account every so often, and I just thought, you know, I can do without that. If it's going to help me to survive through the current era, then I can. Hopefully energy prices are going to go down later in the year. That's what the experts predict anyway, so hopefully this is just short term now. Anyway, here we are. We're on the railway now to Ryde, so that hasn't taken long at all. We've now already catered for all of the stations between Shanklin and Brading, so now all that's left is going through Ryde town centre and onto the pierhead. And it's an absolutely gorgeous railway, and I love these whiskey clouds. They're so realistic. It's just, yeah, it just has a super element of realism to it, especially with the open windows and stuff like that. I just love it. I really, really love it. I think it's so authentic. I'm not aiming to do a full review, to be honest, and this was not ever meant to be a review video. It's meant to be sort of a more of a explore, you know, here you go, this is what it comes to. But I will turn it into a review video because I feel that there's so much good to say about this, and there's so much potential from this route alone, and obviously that's carried through. And I think that, you know, if something like that, like door, guard, door options and stuff like that, if that then gets listened to by the Dovetail Games community, the people who work at Dovetail Games, and then they, oh, there's a DSD, I haven't had that today yet, and then they design a system that allows you to do that in the future, it shows that they're listening to their community, their players, which I think is truly a good sign. So it's not all doom and gloom at the World of Dovetail Towers, certainly not at all, and I'm pleased to see that, and I will be getting and reviewing that that gloss-up line as soon as I'm physically able to. I have cut all my spending for simulation and stuff like that due to the the cost of fuel and energy and everything like that at the moment. I have had to cut my unnecessary expenditures, so I am just currently reviewing what I can, but as soon as I'm able to get the rest of the stuff. Got my birthday very soon, so I should be able to get some stuff around then. So onwards and upwards in the world of Train Sim World and Train Sim Classic here on LM Simulation. Did want to put a little caveat in actually to say that I am looking at streaming again, but the only problem is I am starting a whole new job very soon, and that's going to incur a lot of commitment. So I am actually looking at streaming again on a Saturday night. It is going to be an early stream between 6 and 7. It's not going to be a late at night one, just an early stream, an hour, just to have a quick look at what's going on. But that will be reinstated probably from September, because I've got a hell of a lot of things to think about when I start this new job. I've not long recently got a car, had to pay for the insurance and everything for that, so but that's coming up for renewal, so there's a lot to think about there as well. Oh look, here's Smallwood Junction. Sorry, we're not stopping there today. So there you go, that's Smallwood Junction station there, the old Island line there on the right hand side, and your new improved Smallwood Junction with the taller platform, as you can see there, that's been implemented at several stations. Basically though, it's the same old station with the new car markers. So yeah, I've got my first car renewal coming up in August, so that's going to be interesting, sort of getting all that sorted out. So there's a lot happening in my life outside of the world of simulation and stuff like that I've got to focus on. But I am going to aim to get regular streaming back as soon as I possibly can, and that will be starting in sometime in September, probably at the start of September. Oh, you've got an old semaphore signal. I don't even know if that's there in real life. I thought they got rid of all semaphore signals, to be fair. So we've got Ride St John's Road coming up shortly. We're running just about 10 minutes late here. There's another semaphore, lovely. Don't know if those semaphores are there in real life. If you can tell me that, do let me know. I'm very interested in that. I thought they got rid of most of the semaphores down this line. Anyway, here we go, approaching, this is the main station in Ryde at St John's Road for the town centre and the bus station. Got the old semaphore signal box there as well. And there we go, coming in nice and slowly into Ryde. It doesn't stop. Kind of, that's the problem, it slows down very slowly as you get towards the slower speeds, but then it suddenly just sort of stops out of nowhere. It just kind of goes, you know what, I'm going to put yourself in emergency brake, you know. It's very weird how the braking system works. Anyway, I'll take you on a quick tour. Here's Ryde St John's Road and the new improved Ryde St John's Road. So you've now got your overbridge, which is a bit more detailed there with the new overbridge system. You've also got the depot here with the Island Line trains. You've got one there. I think you've got one behind it as well, if I can have a look quickly. So these are the old livery ones. Well, say the you've got 484, 002, 005 there on depot. So they're currently just here as static. Unfortunately, I don't know why I haven't got the new livery on these, the ones that I've installed, but hey ho, interesting. I love the old 7-4 signal box here though, very authentic indeed. Let's head back to our train and get ourselves up to Ryde Esplanade, which is the next station. Esplanade? I think it sounds very posh when you say Esplanade, doesn't it? So that is definitely a bug. I'm going to report that. Very annoying, that. Might be helpful if I close the doors. Anyway, so when we get to Ryde Esplanade, I'm going to sum up my review of this route. So yeah, departing from Ryde St John's Road, running just over 10 minutes late. About normal. For me, I'm not saying it's normal for the Island Line, I'm not too sure how they operate. Looks like there's a potential for a third platform there. Although it's a bay platform now, I don't know whether in the old route that used to be naturally a third platform. So you can operate services from Shanklin just up to Ryde. Let's have a look at the map quickly while we're here. If there's a route across. No, I don't think there is. That is interesting. They've got a bay platform that you can't actually access. No, you can't. That is bizarre. They've got a bay platform that you can't access from the south side. But you can't access it from the north side because there's a pair of buffers. So it's... yeah, that is very bizarre. I don't know what that platform would ever get used for. Maybe the first train of the day going south to Shanklin, but they could never operate a service from Shanklin to that platform without reversing in one of the other platforms first. Unless you were going to operate bi-directional on the double track. Yeah, very, very interesting indeed. See, this railway's teaching you things all the time, but then again, let's have a look at the route map. So we're here, just heading through to the Esplanade and the pier head up there, and you've got the routes down here. This is the Isle of Wight Steam Railway here at Smallbrook. You've got, this is Sandown here, you've got Lake in between here, and you've got Shanklin where we started off from here. Well, there's that unit that passed us is currently in Shanklin at the moment. He's running on time, whereas we're not. So we're just heading through the tunnels here under Ryde, to then head up Ryde towards where the hovercrafts depart at Ryde Esplanade, or Esplanade, however you want to describe that. I love the graffiti here, making it look very authentic, because even on the Isle of Wight you've got graffiti artists. It's just one of those things. It's kind of like an expression of belief, although a lot of other people will say it's an expression of vandalism. I don't judge. I think everyone's got art in them. So there we go, pulling in now to Ryde Esplanade, and we'll have a quick look outside. We won't physically, more with the number 8 button here. So here you go, you've got Ryde Esplanade, looking quite interesting indeed. Oh, hello, is that a sailor's hat? Are you meant to collect these? I will jump out if you're meant to collect them, because I wasn't aware you were meant to collect them. Let's have a look, are you meant to collect these? Yeah, you are. 2 out of 10 yacht hats collected. Right, so that's a new mission for me. Let's jump back into the cab. We'll get into the driver's seat, because it's actually easier to press these closed door buttons once you're in them. A quick look outside, you've got the hovercrafts over here. Not sure they look entirely authentic, but they work. Yeah, that kind of works. This is the Ride Esplanade Hotel. They've actually got some rail cams on these in real life that view out across here. So they basically look over the whole Ride Esplanade area. I do think that the downfall in this new Train Sim World 3 is the minute you look away from the railway, everything just looks so worse. Like, you look at this and you think, oh wow, that's authentic, don't you? And then you look out here and think, yeah, it looks a bit like Bus Simulator 2021, you know, it's just not got the same vibe. And you have a look out here and these hovercrafts, they look very Robloxy, if you know what I mean, like they were made in Roblox or something like that, or Minecraft, and then, you know, taken over. This van looks alright, that looks kind of alright, although it's a bit crappy pixels, and yeah, looks a bit like one of those shitty driving simulators that you get, to be honest. But no, it's like, that's the one thing I don't like about this new simulator, is that the minute you look on the railway, you look at that and you think, bloody hell, that is realistic. And then the minute you look outside for 1 minute, you're thinking, it just isn't. It's just the opposite. It's just poles between. So I think they have to have a strategy when they design routes like this. You have to have X amount of people working on the routes, obviously more, and then a few people working on the exteriors, making sure that everything looks absolutely bang up to date from what you can see, because if you're going to be given the opportunity to walk around the train, and you're going to be given the opportunity to walk around the station, you want things to look realistic, and that is obviously a downfall. Well, a downfall and a flaw. So I'm going to say that's a downfall. That's a new word. You can have that one on me. Oxford English Dictionary. You've got nothing on me. Downfall. I'm going to write that down, actually. That's brilliant. Absolutely. Sometimes I think of the best things when I'm doing these streams. Anyway, well, streams or videos or whatever. So the water, yeah, it looks alright. I mean, I've seen better water. I've also seen much worse water. So, let's have a look. I'm just going to get a cheeky screenshot while we're here. So let's sum up this route. So it's got a fantastic train, loads of different options. You can even be a guard and things like that. The interior of the train looks fantastic. The area around the railway is superb. I love the implementation of the passengers. I love the implementation of the passenger information screens. I just love it. It's such a detailed route, and the train looks so realistic. The graphics are fantastic. The down floor is obviously when you look outside the station, the cars don't look very good and stuff like that. It's just very small, minor things, really, that can easily be put right with a little bit more time and attention. So obviously that knocks it down a little bit. These hovercrafts, they need to be in full HD. They even need to be moving, really. You can't just have static hovercrafts. I think you need to have a little bit more investment in the routes. So really, I'm going to be a bit harsh now and say that this is probably maybe a 7 out of 10 route. It was so close to being 8 or 9, maybe even 10. It was so close, but the fact that draws away from it is the gleaming obvious stuff that you look at outside of the whole railway. Stuff that you can see within line of sight needs to be incredible, and if you can't achieve that in the game engine, then you need to move on and find one that works better. It is just, the standard today is second to none. Have a look at the new Grand Theft Auto. That game is going to set records. I can tell you that right now. You just have to aim so high these days because people's machines can cope with so much more. So with that in mind, I'm going to land this with a firm 7 out of 10. Well done to the guys who've developed it. It's a really, really in-depth simulation. I have thoroughly enjoyed driving ourselves up to Ride Pierhead, which is where we are now. We've got our lovely little island line train here sat in the platform, looking absolutely fantastic, and I must admit it is well worth getting. Through all the flaws that this route has, the very few amount of flaws that it has, it is still worth getting, just for the experience, just for the fact that this is a really authentic Class 484, and if this means they can put a 484 in Train Sim Classic, please do! Absolutely do it, 100%, we'll love you for it, and we will never ever be unthankful for something like that. That is truly something we'll be thankful for. But anyway, there you go, there's my honest opinion. You can find a link to my old video below, as well as where you can buy this DLC at the moment, as As always, I say wait until the sales. It's not worth spending your hard-earned money if there isn't a discount able. You know, always make sure you're getting the best possible deal, basically. So with that, that's going to be me for this video. I do hope you have thoroughly enjoyed me here on Train Sim World 3, and I'll be back next month in Train Sim Classic with a lot more content to bring you, and I cannot wait. So for now, have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next video. All the best, do take care, and ta-ra!